going on, everybody? Listen, I need y'all to cancel all y'all plans for June 25th.
Tell them why.
Yo, because June 25th, we going to Dream Camp. Look, if you want to fully know how to operate in your purpose and be around people who are killing the game right now, you ain't going to want to do nothing else on June 25th.
Got that right.
Listen, so therefore, I need you to click the link in the bio because, listen, free. Tell them why, though.
Listen, Dream Camp is happening. A lot of y'all keep on sliding our DMs like, hey, yo, can you please help us out with this one? Hey, yo, listen, I need to learn about how do you start your journey? How do you do all this? Listen, stop all that.
Yeah.
I can tell you at Dream Camp. And guess what? We're not the only ones here. It's not just about the fashion industry. There's going to be so many professionals, so many successful professionals that's going to drop those gems and give you exactly what you need, head to head, eye to eye.
Yeah.
Okay?
Listen.
They're in touch.
Yeah, all that. They can
all
touch
that.
you. You can touch them.
You can touch them.
You know what I'm saying? It's
So-
the importance of being in the room.
First step is making the right investment.
And it's right now. Dream
now.
Camp. See
Dream
you there.
Camp.
What's going on? It's your boy J Todd. Listen, I'm so excited. June 25th, it is going down. The Dream Camp Summit. 1 day of empowerment, of information. Listen, it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited to worship with my brother, Cameron Washington, an amazing visionary. It's going to be an amazing day. Come empty. I want y'all to come empty so that you can leave filled. It's just going to be such a diverse atmosphere. Listen, I want you to get your tickets. Click the link. It's on Eventbrite. Get your tickets for Dream Camp June 25th. Make plans to be nowhere else but at Dream Camp. I can't wait to see y'all. Peace.
What's going on, everybody?
All right, there we go. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to the Midweek Push. It's the place where everyday living meets spiritual insight. I'm so glad that you are joining me on this Wednesday. I missed you all last week. If you don't know, last week I was incredibly sick. And so I needed a day. I needed really the whole week to kind of regroup and reset. But we are back. We are back with the Midweek Push. I think I'm going to turn this around. There we go. I like that a little better. We are back. And I'm so glad that you are joining me for the Midweek Push. Again, if this is your first time, it's a place where everyday living meets spiritual insight. And today we're going to actually go back and finish our conversation on intentional thinking, the power of an intentional mindset, the power of intentional thinking. But as you saw on the way in, you just saw those commercials for Dream Camp. We are less than 30 days away. Less than 30 days away. Thank you so much, Pastor Moore. I still got a little something going on, but 10 times better than what I was. We are less than 30 days away from Dream Camp, and I want you all to register. Items are coming in. Production is being put together. And so if you have not made plans to be in the room, make plans to be at Dream Camp, our one-day empowerment summit that runs the gamut from spirituality to purpose pursuit to creativity to entrepreneurship to life application. We've got a little bit of everything for you. And I'm so excited, not just about the individuals who are on the flyer, but many of the individuals who are in the room, who are already registered, who are going to be there, who are powerful within themselves. So be there. And listen, if you haven't already, tomorrow night is our multiple streams of income mastermind master class. That's a tongue twister. Tomorrow is our multiple streams of income mastermind masterclass. If you are ready to make sure that your destiny is not hinged upon one source of income, one job, but you have multiple things going on, I'm going to teach you the formulas and creative tactics and tips and resources that have helped me to sustain these last 15 some years as an entrepreneur. And so you need to be in that class. The registration is $40. You can cash app it to $CAM A Washington, $CAMA Washington. I looked last night. We have 42 individuals who are registered. If you're registered for that, just put in the comments, I'm in. If you've registered, if you're one of the people who is in that class, and the email will go out for that tonight. So the email will go out, we said 24 hours before tomorrow's class, which is at 8 p.m. So you will get the email by 8 p.m. tonight. You'll get the email by 8 p.m. tonight. Tracy is in, Simone is in, Coach Naya is in, Sarah is in. All right, Tamara is in, and we're gonna learn several things. This is not a pyramid scheme. It's not a gimmick where you get on the class and then you got to pay $300 for another kit. No, I'm going to share with you resources. Chris is in, so and you can share by word of mouth if you have friends, family members, if you have co-workers, neighbors, church members who you want to see benefit from this as well. Shavana is in, an amazing entrepreneur. So glad to see you on, woman of God. Dr. Shavana. So we're going to learn tomorrow. This is going to be good today because last week we didn't get to get in, or the week before rather, we didn't get to get into the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tips that I want to give you for intentional thinking. And so I want to just very briefly recap. But before we do that, we know one of the things we always do on Midweek Push is, good afternoon, Nicole. Oh, let me do this. I'm moving fast because I missed y'all last week. Shout out where you're watching from. What city, what town, what state are you in? Let's do a roll call, and then we're going to do our declaration, and we're going to get right into it. And you still got time to like, tag, share. 27 of us are on right now. I am so excited about tomorrow's class. I'm super excited about Dream Camp. And so it's just a season of getting a wealth of information. Our broke days are over. The days of putting all of our eggs, as I think I saw Yvonne say, in one basket are over. You need to be on tomorrow night's class. I'm telling you, you need to be on there. DC is in the house. Florida is in the house. Shepherdstown, West Virginia is in the house. Pemberton, New Jersey, North Philly, Lexington Park, in St. Mary City is on. New Jersey, South Carolina is repping in the room today. 30 of us are on right now. And again, you still got time to like, tag, and to share with somebody. I just said it, but I'm going to say it again. I am so excited about this season of learning and sharing information with you all. Newark, Delaware, not for long. Yes, sir. Moving on up. Come on here. Is in the house. ATL, my brother is in the house. Hyattsville, Rochester is in the house. All right, y'all. All right. So we are here and we are ready. And if you missed 2 weeks ago, we've been in a topic talking about intentional thinking and why intentional, the power of intentional thinking and how it moves you into a place of clarity and understanding and destiny. And so last time we were on, Baltimore, I see you. Clinton, yes, Coach Naya, I see you. Last time we were on, we got so excited we didn't even get to the actual point. So today we're going to talk about how to be intentional. This is for you if you are someone who is looking to flow in your purpose. If you're looking to see exponential growth in your business, in your creativity, in your clarity of thought, in your ability to not just be busy, but be productive, this is for you today. But we always do our declaration to start our midweek push. And so Carly, shout out to Carly. If you can go ahead and put the declaration up, we're going to say it together. And this is something that is specific for us here at Midweek Push. Let's say it together on the count of 3 in concert. 1, 2, 3. I am a creative being, created by the creator of creativity. I possess the skills, tools, and resources to manifest every God-ordained purpose and assignment in my life. I flow in prophetic innovation that allows me to create what has not been seen and do what has not been done. Heaven comes into agreement with me for all I put my mind to. Thank you, Lord, for backing me in all areas of my life. Good afternoon, Kelsey in Las Vegas. Good afternoon, Grandma Roz. Good afternoon to you. All right, y'all. All right, so it's time to work. I moved around a little bit setting wise, but I think I'm going to go back to where we normally are. It looks a little cloudy. I don't like fuzzy live, so we're going to work on that. All right, intentional thinking. Get your notebooks, get your pens, and we're going to look at some applicable processes for intentional thinking. If you have not realized, specifically when you have really made a decision to focus in, to zone in, to hone in on a specific area in your life, whether it's being more accountable, whether it's being more focused, whether it's being more driven, there is an immediate plan of the enemy to distract you. And so one of the things that we talked about is being intentional about our thought process. One of the things that the Lord gave me for you all when we were on 2 weeks ago, and I said it again on Monday, and I want to say it today, is that every single day you are responsible for giving your day an assignment. You are responsible for giving your day an assignment, for decreeing and declaring over your day. A lot of times while we see calamity, confusion, just all kinds of things breaking out in our week is because the legal authority that we've been given through the Spirit of God, if we do not assign our days and our weeks, our days and weeks are open to whatever would happen. But when you are intentional about waking up every morning and assigning your day, whether that's I assign this to be a day where I have no lack, where things flow freely, where I am at peace, where I'm at joy, whatever it is our kingdom responsibility to be intentional about the thoughts we have concerning not only our life as a broad spectrum, but also as individual days. And so this requires the principle and the precepts of intentional thinking. Okay, and so we said a few things. I'm going to do a very quick recap, and then I'm going to get into our points. Write these down if you can. And so we said to practice intentional thinking. Let's define it again so that we're all on the same page. We said that intentional thinking means that we have clear purpose and are intentional about taking action on the thoughts and the feelings that are most important to us. And so that right there is very important, because one of the questions we have to ask ourselves is, what are the thoughts and the feelings that are most important to us? For you, what are the thoughts and feelings that are priority for you? Are they thoughts of prosperity and joy and happiness, or are they thoughts you tend to focus on worry and fear and doubt and depression? You have to, one, be intentional about your intentional thoughts, okay? And so intentional thinking means that we have, one, a clear purpose and are intentional about taking action. Now, let's hear that, because that word changes the whole dynamic of intentional thinking, because not only are we going to think these things, but we're going to take action on them. This is important because I teach it often that there are many of us who we get stuck in the desire to be, but not the action of actually being. Flip the track and rewind it back. We get stuck in the desire to be, but not the action or the execution of actually being. And a lot of times we will think that the desire is enough. But even in the Word of God, it says that your desire must be met with your willingness to do. And so in this season, desire is no longer enough. It's not enough just to desire to be whole. It's not enough just to desire to be in shape, to be healthy. It's not enough to desire to eat right. It's not enough to desire to be a better person. It's not enough to desire to not be anxious anymore. You've got to now connect some action to it. And that action only comes when you are consistently and daily intentional, about how you want to show up in the world. Okay, so intentional thinking means that you have a clear purpose and are intentional about taking action on the thoughts and feelings that are most important to you. If you're writing notes, I want you to write this down. What are the thoughts and feelings that are most important to me? 42 of you are on right now on Facebook and YouTube. What are the thoughts and feelings that are most important to me? Okay. Being intentional also means having the ability to see, hear this, specific results in the future that if you achieve them, they will make things bigger and better for yourself. That was amazing. Let me read that again to you. Being intentional means having the ability to see specific results in the future that if you achieve them will make things bigger and better for yourself, your business, or even your life. And so this principle and this thought, forgive the noise, I have the windows open, of intentional thinking, it is important because it is what causes the paradigm shift. We know that to be defined as a fundamental change. It's what causes that in our life. It's what causes that in our life. And so two very important things we said that we have to do to practice intentional thinking. One of those was we need to be aware of what we are thinking and be willing to challenge our own thoughts. How many of you, just by a post, for those of you that are on, 40 something of you are on, how many of you consistently challenge your own thoughts? Can challenge your own thoughts, whether that is a thought of negativity comes in and you challenge yourself to think something different, or a thought that necessarily isn't the best comes and you challenge yourself to not only think different but question why it is that you're thinking that. Why is it that I'm having this thought of anxiety? Why is it that I'm having this thought of anger? Why is it that I'm having this thought of rejection? Being able to challenge our own thoughts makes us intentional. Now, we've got to kind of really more so define that, because if we're not careful, intentional thinking can become tormented thinking. Hear what I'm saying to you. Intentional thinking can become tormented thinking, because there's a lot of us who we get stuck in our head. And we get stuck so much in our thoughts that we end up not doing anything at all. I need you to hear what I'm saying to you. We get stuck in our thoughts and we end up not doing anything at all. But when the difference between that tormented type of thinking and intentional thinking is the fact that we're tying some type of action to it that's going to make us better. We're not just circling in our head and overthinking and overanalyzing. No, we are taking a very isolated thought and not only challenging that thought, but putting an action to it. So if my isolated thought that I want to challenge or I want to think about is, why am I always fearful? I'm going to take that thought, I'm going to analyze where is that coming from, and then I'm going to make a better decision, or I'm going to challenge myself to not be fearful. Okay, so there is a difference between that tormented thinking that keeps us stuck and keeps us kind of circling versus intentional thinking that is directly tied to action. Does that make sense? Somebody tell me in the comments if that makes sense to you. All right. And so we're getting to the points now, and I'm going to let you all go. Intentional people do three specific things. Intentional people do three specific things. If you're writing notes, write this down. If you're writing notes, write this down. When I am intentional, I am specific about doing three things. All right, Steph says that makes sense. Anna says very good. Lydia says absolute sense. Okay, all right. Yvonne and Kathleen say makes sense. Got it. Okay, perfect. All right, so intentional people do three things. Okay, write this down. Write this down. They are action oriented. This is the season where you've got to be action oriented. I know that we love to journal and write things down and write plans, but what are you doing with those plans? What are you doing once you get all of that out? You've got to be action oriented, and we've got to get to the place where we stop making processes longer than they really need to be because of our mediocrity, because of our laziness, because of our fear. One of the things that I've been teaching you all for a while, of course I teach at Hope City and I teach my mentors, is every single thing in your life has a predestined time and season where it is supposed to work at its greatest capacity. That is why the Bible tells us to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose. Every single thing, even the small things. The word of the Lord says God cares about even the small things. Even the small things in your life. There's a predestined time when that is supposed to work at its greatest potential. But it's up to you to make sure that you don't miss that window by having desire but no action. You've got to be action oriented. So intentional people are first, they are what? They are action oriented. Natasha says, come on now, talking to me. I'm tired of writing. It's time for action. Absolutely. But Natasha, there's so many people who they think because they wrote it down, they've done a good job. They pat themselves on the back, but they never open that journal again. You never go back to that idea. It's the season and the time now where if you're going to be committed to it, you've got to put some action behind it. Okay? So action oriented. Number two, intentional people have an unshakable determination and strong mindset to accomplish what they've set out to achieve. I'm going to read that again. Intentional people have an unshakable determination and strong mindset to accomplish what they set out to achieve. Okay. And then number three, they are extremely self-aware. Extremely self-aware. It is essential to have a sense of self. It's essential to have a sense of self. What does that mean? It means that you're aware when you're off. You're aware when there's the areas you can improve, and you're aware when your language or your thinking is not really where it needs to be, and you're able to either reset or recalibrate to get yourself to the point where you can live a life that is action oriented and productive. All right. Does that make sense so far? Before we go on to how to be intentional, which we're going to hit now, this is where we start new today. I want to know from you all, how many of you are decreeing and declaring that for the rest of this year, you are going to be an intentional thinker? How many of you just put a me, put a hand raise, drop some fire, put it in the comments. I am going to be an intentional thinker. I'm no longer just going to wake up and go through the motions of the day, go through the motions of the week. I'm going to be clear about the moments I'm in. I'm going to be clear about what I want out of the day, what I want out of my week, what I want out of my month, what I want out of my year. And let me tell you why that's so important. That's so important because when you are intentional about what you want and what you desire, you will accept nothing less from anyone else. Hey, that is great. Yes, Joel, I see you with the exclamations. When you are clear and intentional about what you want out of your day, your week, your life, your atmosphere, you will accept nothing less from anyone else. And many of you, it's going to be like a light bulb that goes off because now that you're getting this principle and you're getting these resources and you're beginning to understand how important intentionality is, you're going to realize how many people around you are wasting your time. Man, you're going to realize how many people around you are wasting your time and their energy is not meeting your intentionality. Every single thing in your life, when you become an intentional thinker, it's like light bulbs go off, the rose-colored glasses come off, and you begin to really see how many people and things are draining your energy and wasting your time. And now you yourself will be more intentional about who you allow in your space, allow in your mindset, allow in your home, allow in your business, allow wherever you are. You're going to be more aware of that. Okay, so that's why this is also extremely important. All right, let's go. So how to be intentional? I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go through these very quick. 35 of you are on. You still have time to click, tag, share. And if you're just joining us, welcome to the Midweek Push. It's the place where everyday living meets spiritual insight. Thank you all for logging back in and giving me a break last week to get my strength back, and still got a little residue of something, but I'm not what I was. So we are back. 41 of us are on. Okay, Yvonne says honeymoon season is officially over. Anna says expect nothing less from people around you. Absolutely. Okay, so how to be intentional. The first thing is, if you're writing notes, write this down. Be deliberate with your day. Be deliberate with your day. Deliberate, another word for intentional. Be deliberate with your day, okay? I'm going to read to you what I have here, what I wrote, okay? When you are intentional with your time, your energy, and focus each day, you are more likely to achieve the result that you want. Let me say that again, okay? Embrace it, okay? When you are intentional or deliberate with your time, your energy, and focus each day, you are far more likely to achieve the result that you want. Have you ever noticed that when you really tackle the day, I mean, when you really make up in your mind, I'm tackling this day, you get up early, and even something about getting up early, I was thinking when we were in Las Vegas, and even when I get up early, the days when I get up, and I mean really get up, not just get up and scroll or do those things, but the days when I really get up at 6 or 6:30 and tackle the day, by the time I look around, I'm thinking it's 1, 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and it's only like, 9:30 or 10 a.m. And I've accomplished so much already, because when you're intentional and when you maximize the time, you're going to see extreme increases in your productivity. Okay, so when you are intentional about your time and your energy and your focus, you are far more likely to achieve the result, that you want. When you are clear on the results you want and understand the importance of achieving those results, you will be more intentional. Here's what I really want you to hear. Aligning your vision with measurable goals ensures you are motivated and focused to take action. I know that's a lot of reading, but I need you all to hear that. Aligning your vision and measurable goals, achievable goals, ensures you are motivated and focused to take action. So the first thing we're doing when we're talking about embracing intentional thinking is we're going to be deliberate about our days. No longer are our days just going to be kind of on autopilot where we just go through because we know it's the norm, we know it's the same old day after day. No, we're going to be extremely intentional about our days. We're going to be deliberate. We're going to set specific goals. We're going to set specific intentions. We're going to set a specific mindset. And most of all, what are we going to do? We said we're going to give assignments to our day. We're going to ultimately decree and declare over our day. Okay. So we're going to be deliberate with our day is the first thing about being intentional and being an intentional thinker. Are you all getting something out of this? Let me know in the comments. All right. Number two, we're going to be clear on the result that we want. I'm going to ask you from a broad spectrum, and then we're going to hone in more on it. But my question for you, and I want you to write this down, I want you to really, really embrace it and think about it, is what are the results that you want in your life? What are the results that you want to see in your life? This is important because a lot of times I hear individuals say, I don't really know what my purpose is. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know what to expect in life. I don't know where I'm going. But it starts with intentional thinking. And it starts with asking yourself questions like this. What is the result that I want out of my life? Now, from a general perspective, that can be your overall legacy. What do you want the legacy of your life to be? What is the life that you ultimately want to live? What is the life that you want to experience? And then you've got to kind of hone in even closer on that and bring it to a more daily type of focus. What is the result that I want from every single day? What is the result that I want from every single week? What is the result that I want from every single month? And then couple your intentionality with that. Okay, if this is the result that I want, if I want to see love and joy and peace and clarity of thought and health in my body, now I've got to be intentional about setting, what did we say, measurable goals that yield to that result, that produce that result, right? So it's almost like cause and effect, right? And so if I want to see these effects in my life, I've got to now be intentional about making sure that everything I spend my time with, everything I align with, points toward that result. So this is the main question you've got to ask yourself is, what is the result that you want from your life, from your life as a whole, and then on a more specific basis from your days, from your weeks, and from your months. And now you've got to keep that at the forefront of your head so that everything that you are doing, you're intentional about. Okay, so every single thing you do points you toward that specific goal. That's why for me, I'm very intentional about the people I have around me because I have a specific goal and I have a specific intention that I want in my life. I'm very intentional about keeping a peace and very little drama and making sure that I see productivity in my areas of purpose and passion. And so knowing that that is my ultimate goal and the ultimate results I want to see, I then am extremely intentional about who I'm connected to, what conversations I engage in, what atmospheres I'm in, because that is always at the forefront of my mind. All right. So we've got to be what? We've got to be deliberate with our day, and then we've got to be clear on the result that we want. Okay. You can increase your intentionality by getting clarity on the measurable results you want to achieve in the future. When you are clear on the results you want and understand the importance of achieving those results, you will be more intentional. All right. Are y'all with me? Let's keep on going. Okay. So if you're just joining us, we're talking about the power of intentional thinking, how it can ultimately and literally transform our lives, make us give us the ability rather to see more results, better results, higher results, greater results in our life. Okay. So deliberate with our day, clear on the result that we want, and be purposeful with our time. How many of you know and will agree with me, you don't have time to waste? Just put that in the comments. I don't have time to waste. Now, maybe some of you do, but for the majority of us, we do not have time to waste. Our time is precious. Every single day of every single minute of the day has to matter. It has to count. It has to produce something. It has to yield something. We are no longer in the place where we can sit around and twiddle our thumbs and eat bonbons all day. No, we've got to get up and go because we've got things that we want to do. We've got places we need to be. We've got goals we need to crush. And so our day matters. Yes, Sakithia. And so with that, we've got to be purposeful with our time. And for some of us, that means we've got to have better time management. We've got to have better time management. We've got to be more clear on what our days look like and how we can produce more so we don't end the day tired from being busy but not productive. Have you ever had one of those days where you're like, I'm so tired, but I don't really know what did I really do today? Because a lot of times our schedule is filled with things that make us busy but not necessarily productive, right? And so whether that's spending the time on endless phone calls, just talking about nothing, or, scrolling, on social media or whatever it is. But now that we're going to be intentional thinkers, we've got to be extremely purposeful with our time. Okay. So intentional people understand the importance of their time and they look to achieve their goals. Listen to this, in the simplest, easiest, and fastest way possible. I want you all to hear that because I believe some of you make your processes harder than they have to be. Intentional people understand the importance of their time and look to achieve their goals in the simplest, easiest, and fastest way possible. When I was working in corporate America, I believe I've said it sometimes, even in ministry and working on teams in my business, is, we don't have to have meetings about having a meeting. Every meeting, there needs to be something that we do that truly brings us closer to our ultimate result or our ultimate goal. And that's like for many of you. Some of you, you have notebooks for your notebooks. You've got journals for your journals. You've got so many plans that you yourself don't even understand. Okay, wait a minute. What am I saying here? How am I supposed to do this? And so that means that when you become purposeful with your time, you've got to sometimes break things down to the simplest form. You got to break it down to the simplest form so you can actually see some productivity and some results take place. Everything does not have to be a math formula. Everything does not have to be multiple grids and outlines. Sometimes you've just got to take it at its simplest form and do that action and then move on to the next thing. So you've got to be very intentional about breaking your goals down to the simplest and the easiest and the fastest way possible. A prime example for me is, cleaning. Now, I am not, I don't love cleaning, but, we have to do what we have to do. But I know for me, I am not one of those people who can just go in the room and just pull everything out. Some people can go in and they just, pull everything off the shelves and pull everything from out the closet and pull everything out the drawers and just want to start with everything. That is not me. That will stay there for a month. I am the type of person, I've got to start with isolated projects. So if I start with the dresser, then I do the dresser and get that complete. Next, I move on to the shelves. So you've got to learn for you what is going to allow you to break your goals down to the simplest, the easiest, and the fastest way possible so that you don't make something that really could be a 7-day goal, a 30-day goal. Okay, what is the simplest form for you and what is your best way to work so that you see productivity and results? Everything does not always work the same for everybody. So you've got to find out what is your process. How do you work best to make sure that your time is purposeful? How do you make sure that your time is purposeful? All right. If you're just joining us, we're in part 2 of intentional thinking, and I'm giving you our principles we didn't get to last time on how to be intentional. Number 1 was to be deliberate with your day. 2 is to be clear on the result you want. 3 is to be purposeful with your time. And let me say this when we talk about time, and I mentioned it quickly, but I want to go back to it. And I wrote this down in big old red letters. I wrote down, never have people in your life just because. Everyone must serve a purpose that aligns with your intentional result. I have a member of my church. She said, Pastor, every time I hear you preach, I feel like you're preaching right to me and you're telling me to get rid of people. I'm not going to have any friends. but it is the truth. It is a true fact that if you are going to see supreme intentionality and productivity in your life, you've got to make sure that everyone in your life serves a purpose. I'll say it like I was in church on Sunday. I just need 3 of y'all to holler back at me. Gone are the days of having people in our life just because we like the same color. Gone are the days of having people in our life just because we grew up in the same neighborhood. No, we've got to serve more of a purpose for one another. And I'm not saying you don't have people you laugh and cut up with and all of that, but when you are at the place where you are extremely intentional, when you are at the place where you realize that your time and your energy is valuable, then you've got to make sure that when you look at people who are in your life, they are not just there for quantity, but they are there for quality. And so that requires an analysis. Every once in a while, you've got to kind of do a spring cleaning. And, disconnecting from people in our life is not a negative thing, and it doesn't always mean that something has gone wrong or something has happened, but you're just at the place where you are clear on your goals, and everything that's a part of your life has to align with that. And so for me, I think it's very important, this statement, that we never have people in our life just because. Everyone must serve a purpose that aligns with our intentional goals. Okay, and so let's push that even further. So to be purposeful with our time, we've got to set boundaries. Here goes that word we talked about some weeks ago. We've got to set boundaries around our time. Am I doing all right, Coach Naya? We've got to set boundaries around our time. And how do we set those boundaries? That means we've got to set time for self-care. We've got to plan around our energy levels. Man, we could probably spend 30 minutes just talking about that. I hope y'all heard that. We've got to plan around our energy levels. I know for me, I will be the sacrificial lamb, and maybe some of you will join me in agreement in our safe place here. I am very moody. I have moments where I want to be around people, moments I don't, moments I feel like talking, moments I don't. And so I know for me, when it comes to even pastoring, mentoring, doing things like Midweek Push, family, all of those things, I've got to sometimes plan around my energy levels, because I know, and this is a hard thing for a creative, because for us as creatives, we have different times of energy levels. And so there's some days where I am highly creative. I am highly creative. Don't do that, Coach Naya. I am highly creative. I get up and ideas are flowing and productivity is flowing. And there's some days that there's a mental block. There's a creative block. And, I used to beat myself up about that. And I used to try to force myself into a creative space, force myself to create. And I realized that when I did that, my passion for it didn't come through, and my ability to put my best foot forward did not come through. So now I'm very clear on planning around my energy levels, understanding that my creativity comes at different times. It does not always come as a 9 to 5. There's some days where the 9 to 5 creativity may not be flowing, but it may start at 7. Yesterday I was working on some things for Dream Camp and registration for tomorrow's masterclass, which you need to sign up for, multiple streams of income masterclass. I'll talk about it in a minute. And I just, I was getting things done, but it wasn't at the level that I wanted to really see it. And so what I did was, I was aware and intentional about the results that I needed to achieve for the day. So I said, you know what, I'll tackle this a little later in the day. And about 6 p.m. last night, that creative energy, that creative level hit me, and I was able to get things done. And so I got more done in that later time of the day than I did trying to force it in a particular time frame that my energy level was not willing to meet. Okay, does that make sense? You all let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if that's you. Comment. Let's make this a dialogue and not just a monologue. All right. So to be purposeful with your time, you've got to set boundaries around your time. You've got to set time for self-care, plan around your energy levels, and start ending each day. Start and end each day with gratitude. Start and end each day with gratitude. This will help you to protect your time and ensure that each day you end it feeling proud of what you achieved. How many of you take a moment to really celebrate your achievements? How many of you take a moment to really say, this is what I got done? This is why I believe, tracking is important. To-do lists where you can track what you've got done, because there's a lot of times in the day we probably don't even realize how much we've done. But when we can end the day and look at that list and see things that we've accomplished through measurable goals, it'll give us that fuel that we need for the next day. All right, I was able to do this, and this today, which lets me know tomorrow I'll be able to do this, and this. Okay, so we've got to really make sure that we are purposeful with our time. All right, let's keep on going. We're almost done. We've got 2 more. All right, so we're talking about intentional thinking, the power of intentional thinking. Yvonne says, I don't, but I need to start doing that. Absolutely, absolutely. And you all heard me talk in, if you're in accountability group, about incentives. That's another great way to kind of celebrate your wins. All right, so how to be intentional: 1, be deliberate with your day; 2, be clear on the results that you want; 3, be purposeful with your time; and 4, become focused on your goals. Ralph, I see you, man. He says, I need to get better at that. Yes, absolutely. I think it's essential. Become focused on your goals. Intentional goals allow you to align your purpose and vision with an action plan to achieve your goal. I believe that every goal needs an action plan. How do you get from step A to step B? How do you get from step B to step C? You've got to have some type of action plan, okay? So become focused on your goals. When you are intentional about your goals, you identify the result you want to achieve up front, which gives you more direction and focus. I believe that you've got to have upfront goals. You've got to know from the start, this is where I want to see this finish. So whether that's putting a time frame to it, whether that's being very clear on which steps are going to get you there and what ultimately you want to see happen at the end, you've got to be extremely rather focused on your goals. And then 6, be mindful of your most, oh, this is good. Be mindful of your most important relationships. Be mindful of your most important relationships. I believe that if we really take an assessment of the relationships in our life and where we dedicate our time, we would realize that we would see more productivity if we kind of did some spring cleaning around those we spend our time and energy amongst. And time and energy is not always that person being physically there. Some of you don't even realize that subconsciously you're drained by the energy you carry of people connected to you that may not even be with you during the day. Wow, that was heavy, and we probably need to spend more time on that, but we can't right now. Many of you are drained and depleted because of the energy that you carry from people who may not always even be in your atmosphere directly, but you carry their energy, you carry the weight that's on them, you carry their problems, you carry their circumstances, and it's hard for you to be able to really do what you need to do, and you're wondering, why don't you have the strength? It's because you're carrying so much of others, and that comes through whether it's conversations, whether it's knowing their circumstances, whether it's just their toxic energy, because I believe that there's also spiritual transfers of energy. And that's very evident because you can be in the room with someone. Have you ever been in a room and someone comes in and just the whole energy of the room changes, the whole spirit of the room, even your spirit changes? And so a lot of times we are connected to individuals who the spirit that they carry begins to fall on us and begins to drain us. And so if we're going to be intentional, if we're going to be focused on goals, if we're going to see extreme productivity in our life, we've got to be mindful of our most important relationships. I wrote a couple things down here and I want to read those. Desiree says, leaves you heavy while they're walking light. Yeah, wow. Desiree, that's good. Yes, absolutely. Okay. All right. So yeah, it's very important. I believe energy is contagious, and it's also cancerous. It spreads. And so you've got to be very, very careful about that. Very, very careful and very mindful. All right. So intentionality increases the value of your most important relationships and brings deeper meaning to them. When you appreciate your most important relationships, you experience greater gratitude and abundance and self-awareness. It also helps you to understand the purpose and importance of every relationship you have. And when you take the time to understand why a relationship is important, you will feel much happier and more joyful. All right. So I wanted to make sure we got through these. If you didn't get part 1, go through. Part 1 was very powerful and revelatory. This is more principles and tactics. And when you couple the two, you'll get the full spectrum. You can go to my YouTube channel and do me a favor, go and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Just look up my name, CameronWashington.com, and you'll get that. I'm going to be bringing you guys some really, really good stuff for the coming month of June. So make sure that you put a reminder, set an alert in your phone for Midweek Push. It's the place where everyday living meets spiritual insight. And we're here every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern just to give you principles and tactics that will help you to live a more clear and intentional and elevated life. I believe for many of you, you're getting ready to see the hand of God in your life like you've never seen before. You're going to be more aware about your surroundings. You're going to be more aware of how you spend your time, the people you spend your time with, so that you can see more productivity in your life. No longer is desire enough, but we are now coupling our desire with the power, the spirit of desire with the power of execution. Write that down, the spirit of desire with the power of execution. I don't want to just desire to be better. I want to now have that betterness flowing in my life. I don't want to just desire to be healthy or desire to be in shape. I'm going to now put some execution behind it. And so whatever your desire is, my prayer for you is that the Lord will give you the power to flow in the execution of that. All right. So glad to have you watching on Facebook and YouTube. Listen, tomorrow night at 8 p.m. is our multiple streams of income mastermind master class. If you did not send your email with your Cash App, please send your email to cw@CameronWashington.com so you can get the login credentials. You will get them 24 hours before the class. So if the class is 8 p.m. tomorrow night, that means that by 8 p.m. tonight, you will have the access details. If you want to be in that class, if you say I'm at the place where I don't want my income to be dependent just on my one job, I don't want my destiny and my wealth to be dependent on just one thing. And I want to learn from you, Coach Cam, how you've been able to do it, how you're always reinventing yourself, how you're always coming up with new ideas to sustain the life you want. Then you need to be in tomorrow night's class. All you have to do is Cash App $40 to $Cam A Washington. Somebody put it in the comments for me. $Cam A Washington, CAMA Washington. Send it now. We've got 40 something individuals already who are in tomorrow night's class. You're going to be able to ask questions. I'm going to be throwing around several different ideas around passive income, revolving income, to help you understand how some of the things that are already inside of you and how you can make money in your sleep. How you can make money in your sleep. Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, Karen. So if you want to be in that class, and listen, you can invite somebody. Hey, you need to be in this masterclass tomorrow. Sponsor somebody. Sponsor your children. Sponsor your siblings. Sponsor a neighbor. Sponsor a coworker, so that we can all get the wealth that is laid up for us. All right. And of course, Dream Camp is coming up. What an amazing day it's going to be. Get your Dream Camp outfits together. Get excited about it. We're going to have an amazing day of empowerment. Carla, you can put up the full Dream Camp flyer for a second. It's a full day of empowerment. It is ministry. It is marketplace. It is kingdom. It is worship. It is tools and tips and principles. It is fashion. It is business and economics. It is entrepreneurship. It is creativity. It is all of those things. Financial wellness, all of those things in one power-packed day. And so you absolutely want to be at Dream Camp. You can register by going to CameronWashington.com. We are almost at full capacity. Almost, praise God, at full capacity. So yes, Ralph, prepare to take notes tomorrow night and at Dream Camp. All right. Okay, I love you all, and I pray you're having an amazing day. Listen, by way of announcements, I will be preaching this Sunday at Kingdom Deliverance Tabernacle. Kingdom Deliverance Tabernacle. Put up the Midweek Push one, Carly. There you go. Oh, sorry. Sorry. There we go. We're both clicking buttons. I'll be preaching at Kingdom Deliverance Tabernacle this Sunday for Pentecost Sunday at 1:30. I believe it is 1700 Pratt Street in Baltimore, Maryland. Meet us there. Hope City. Don't forget there is no church at the Soundstage this Sunday. All roads lead to Baltimore, Maryland, and we are going to have an amazing time in the Lord with our KDT family and my brother, Pastor William Craig. The attire is all white. All white. If you don't have all white, still come. If you have white that has turned beige, do your very best. And come on out and let's have a time where we worship the Father for the gift of the Holy Spirit. Pentecost It comes from the root word penta, which means 50 days. 50 days after Passover was the feast of Pentecost, a Jewish feast, and it is the confirmation of what the Father said. He said, I won't leave you comfortless, but I will send you a comforter, which is the Holy Spirit. And so that is the day that we celebrate the gift that God gave us as the Holy Spirit. And so come and join us for a wonderful time of worship. All right. Listen, I'm also going to be launching, I wanted to have it in time for midweek, but I didn't get a chance. I'm going to be launching a headshot photography special for Cameron Washington Studios. It's going to be $99 for a photo session. So look out for that. That'll be coming out either later today or tomorrow. I'll be sharing that with you all and some other very exciting things that are coming up. All right. I love you all with the love of the Lord. And I will see you. Will I be back on this week? Maybe I'll do a pop-up toward the end of the week and give you some updates on some things. All right. Be blessed in Jesus' name is my prayer.